Plug it in here.
Yeah. Okay.
We're live now.
Good afternoon to everyone. Thank you all for attending our commission meeting. I apologize for being a little late. Call this meeting to order. It's 3:10. First of all, I want to thank everyone that came to meet our new county manager, Andrew Buttrich. He doesn't officially start till tomorrow. And but he came down to see our meeting and to meet the teacher. The commission also has something else planned at our next commission for a young lady that took over the duties of the interim commission. She ran the county since the past manager left. She did a very good job. Being the manager is not an easy job, especially when you have another job to do. I mean, two jobs at once, that's pretty well. So I know the commission would like to take some, as she did at our next meeting, we got something planned.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, invocation. Can everyone stand? Deacon Keller, you do us the honor of your invocation first.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for all the blessings you give us each and every day. And we ask that all of these genuine human beings create the best county we can possibly have. We thank you, and God bless all of us. Amen.
Thank you. It's Adam's Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
Salute the flag of the state of Mexico, see a symbol of perfect friendship among united cultures.
roll call.
Commissioner Aguilar, Vice Chair Fitzgerald. Commissioner Devlin, not present. Commissioner Gonzalez,
Just in time, here,
and Chair Martinez.
present now. On approval of the agenda, commissioners, I would like to recommend to you to move 2 items up because we have other stuff to do. After we do the swearing in, I'd like to move item N, action item, vehicle usage, up to there so we can have it discussed. And then at the same time, the sheriff can do his report. I need a motion for that to be able to do that. So, motion by Commissioner Aguilar.
I'll second that.
Second by Commissioner Gonzalez. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion to move those items up is approved. Item 7, swearing in ceremony. A, swearing in of Chad Woodson to the office of Deputy Sheriff. Sheriff, you want to come up also?
Nice gun. Hey, Joe. How you doing?
Oh no, can't get my dress on.
Who's out?
Let's see. There.
Hey.
Back up. Right. Repeat after me. I state your name.
Chad Woodson.
Do solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution and the laws of the United States I'll support the Constitution and the laws of the United States. And support the Constitution and laws of the state of New Mexico. And the Constitution and the laws of the state of New Mexico. And I will faithfully and impartially discharge my duties. Faithfully and impartially discharge my duties as Sheriff Deputy of the County of Socorro. Sheriff's Deputy of the County of Socorro. State of New Mexico, state of New Mexico, to the best of my ability, to the best of my ability. So, congratulations. Thank you, sir. Congratulations.
Say something, Cheryl.
Thank you. Have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chairman, Commissioners, good afternoon. Thank you for letting us have this today. My report isn't very big today. We have to we did order that vehicle for the jail. They went and picked it up, and by the time it got back to Socorro, brand new vehicle had an engine lighting. There, we should have it back pretty soon. Deputy, Chad, can you say something? Care to say something?
You on the spot, sir. Commissioners in the county, I just wanted to thank y'all for the opportunity to bring me on. I'll do my best to learn the area and take the county and citizens of the county. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you.
A little bit about Chad is, he is a veteran officer. He's been around, I think, since up here in several different things, firearms, and accident reconstructionists. We're very lucky to get him on the. It's that leads me into the next part, because he does live closer to us. So that's the next item. Yes. Mileage and how far we can start recruiting people so that they can have a payment again. Said in the past how important the community is, especially when it's takes so hard to find it. I think that's the best. So we go get the one. There's people who get great Halloween. It's a little bit. Sorry for them to get through that 4-month period. Get yelled at, bashed in the yard. So it's important that we are able to include people from surrounding communities, give them a chance to them into our community. Like I had said before, I think it would be good to either from 75 miles from the county line or 75 miles from our office. I would do that up to you guys, so that you guys see 75 miles from the office would get us into Albuquerque. And 75 miles from our county line. Yes, it's also to
Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, before you is a revised resolution which has the limit at 75 miles from,
County line.
no, 75 miles from the county office. It is at this board's discretion if it'd like to make it the county line, which of course, actually that would put us in Arizona and possibly, but That's completely at this board's discretion, and we can make those changes if you like. The rest of the policy remains the same. I will say that this is a model policy promulgated by our insurance company. So although there's changes that are needed to this policy, we've requested the insurance company make those changes to the model. They haven't done that yet, but this is certainly within this board's discretion. And I think, there's the arguments are, well, if you're taking home a vehicle, you're not protecting, you're not out there protecting the taxpayers of this county. We want to see those vehicles in this county. On the other hand, the sheriff's concern is just as valid, because if you don't have any recruits, then you're not going to protect anyone. So I certainly think that it's in today's times, it's probably a good idea. My last point on that was out the window. So, the other thing is too, just FYI, if you're beyond the 75 miles, it doesn't mean you still can't work for the county, and doesn't mean you can't take home a vehicle. It just means that once you hit that that line, you are then subject to IRS regulations as a benefit rather than a take home portion of your work. But you all do have the discretion to make that determination.
If I may, Commissioner Sammy, did you review it? Did you discuss it with the sheriff?
Chairman, Commissioners, I did review it after the changes were made with the attorney, with our previous policy. So it's no change other than the 75-mile from the office.
And recommendation?
Do pass.
Sheriff.
This is a small thing. Right now, where do you fuel up? Vehicle fuel cards are within the county, within the city?
Yeah, we can fuel up
Anywhere.
because with every day we have, most of the time, 99%.
Being that it's going outside of the county, that's the thing I would take into consideration, just to support the local businesses that they fuel up here. In other words, when he's going home at night, fuel up here before he comes, so he's gonna be fueling up in, no offense to Valencia County, but they have Facebook and all that other stuff, so yeah, they have plenty. Just keep our pocket change here. So with that being said, I make a motion. Pass.
Motion by Commissioner Gonzalez. Pass. Second by Commissioner Murat. Any discussion? The only discussion I have, Sheriff, is 75 miles per day.
6 bucks.
No, there's 150
Policy change.
You probably took into consideration by the end of the year, the amount of change.
6 months ago now.
In my understanding, you would have to be looking at replacing the vehicle almost. It's just commute miles, not miles having to address issues.
Really, we don't go off of mileage when we replace the vehicle, we go off of, that vehicle doesn't move anymore, right? So, highway miles are much different than city miles. So, I think we'll still be able to get quite a few miles out of it, because if you look at it, Captain Nats, he lives approximately 75 miles from our office, and that's within the county. And he had the same vehicle for like 40 years, 4 or 5 years. I had a lot of miles, still got to pay. But it finally broke down. Had something to do with.
That's my only.
And basically they'll all last the same regardless of else. Since I think really the big thing, what I heard from Bix Dodge, what they told me was what puts more wear on the vehicles. It's because in law enforcement, we keep our vehicles running, right? So we're parked on the side of the road waiting for somebody to come over that are catching the brakes. But we keep them on because we're in them all day and keep them on to keep the air conditioner on and the heater on. So when we go to a call, that puts more wear on a vehicle than actually driving. I guess because that's it to do. Takes me.
Okay, we had a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, passes. Any other questions for us, Chairman?
Thank you very much. You guys have anything for me? Appreciate you guys again.
Thank you.
Also, the new county manager, we're looking forward to working with you and Sammy. Thank you so much. You did so much for us in such a little time.
Okay, item recognition service. Knights of Columbus recognition of the RISE program participants by Deacon Nick Keller. Anthony Montoya's not here. Marty Chavez is replacing Anthony. And Dan Padilla.
Thank you, Commissioners. All three of us would like to talk about the great work that the inmates that support detention, along with their staff members, have done in cleaning up and improving a number of the cemeteries in our county. I've worked alongside inmates for 4 days, and I can tell you it's been a true joy, as well as the great support staff that has been out there with us. Everyone has done an outstanding job, and we'd like to recognize the RISE program for the great work that they do in our community. And that's why we're here. And I would like to now turn it over to Marty Chavez, who's going to talk about the Knights of Columbus project.
Well, thank you very much. We had the RISE program goal and cleaning the parking lot structure of the Knights of Columbus and around the building. Excellent job that they did. And our hats are off to them. It's a very nice program. It gets them out of, being inside, locked up and out. And you get away with very, very little, paying them very little. All they ask for is food and drink, which is relatively cheap per hour. And it's an excellent program. We would like to have them once again come in and paint the interior and exterior of the building and have whoever does the logos around on the power boxes. We have the Knights of Columbus logo that we would like to have put on the exterior wall facing north, heading, I guess, to Magdalena. And basically, that's it. I mean, it's a nice program all around for everyone. The city, churches, the schools, everything. So my hats off to the RISE program and to the commission. I guess they're pretty much involved in all this. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'd like to introduce Dan to you.
First of all, I'd like to thank Jennifer for kind of keeping up with my call and the right call to county commissioner, and thank you for being there for us. And I guess congratulations are in order. Mr. Lafferty, good luck. Hope you have a great year. And of course, commissioners, thank you for having us here today. First of all, I'd like to, when we first started, we noticed that we looked at our cemetery at San Lorenzo and Bobadera, and I don't think the cemetery had been cleaned in 100 years. And so we asked for volunteers. We had families from the community come out. We had like 20 families come out, and we had a cleanup day. And then somewhere along the line, Eddie Garcia's name came up in the RISE program. we contacted them and they were able to get the inmates to come out for a couple of days and help us. I mean, it's unbelievable what they did in 2 days. In 2 days, they did what probably would have taken us a year to do. And so, we'd like to present the RISE program with a special recognition. Of course, we'd like to also ask David Stanford, he was out there helping us, and Carlos Valenzuela, and of course, Shelley and Carrillo for their help and support. Both inmates were out there. So this time I'd like Marcellus Padilla, Celis, you there? Celis said he would keep his presentation no more than 5 minutes. There's a few of the guys here that have been kind of like my partners out there working on the cemetery. And Celis is one of them. He has quite a few family members that are buried at the cemetery, and so there's a lot of interest in making sure that those individuals are taken care of with the respect that they deserve and be part of that community. The other one is Tony Montoya. I don't know if Tony's here. Gary Apalaca has been really, really helpful. Gene Bustamante has been out there, Robert Vega, Manuel Vega, and Shane Bustamante as well. Is there anybody else still listening? Yeah, Gary. So anyway, we want to thank them, and we'd ask at this time if Eddie, would you please come up and accept this certificate? And the certificate reads, certificate of appreciation presented to Socorro County Detention Center, the RISE program, July 9, 2024. And this is for the San Lorenzo Catholic Cemetery Restoration. It said this award is presented in appreciation and gratitude by the families and friends of the San Lorenzo Catholic Mission and for your outstanding service and dedication to our community of Pobladera. With that being said, thank you so much for all the support, Eddie, and for all your staff being there for us. Thank you. Appreciate it. We have one more certificate. I don't know, is Arthur here? There he is. Arthur's just kind of a quiet guy. We all know that. But Arthur, would you please come up? I want to thank Arthur as well, and of course his buddy Mike and the Socorro County Road Department. They brought a bunch of material out there for us and kind of filled in some areas that had been washed out over the last 75 years. And as a result of that, I think it's kind of created at least anywhere from 60 to 75 new gravesite areas as a result of the work and contributions that the road department has done. With that being said, Arthur, thank you so much, and we hope that you guys will display this proudly, and we thank you as well, and it reads Socorro County Road Department. It's presented July the 9th, San Lorenzo Catholic Cemetery, and again, presented in appreciation and gratitude by all of the families and friends of the San Lorenzo Catholic Mission and the community of Pobladera. For that, thank you so much.
If I could, I'd just like to give recognition of, I approve everything and kind of call the shots, I guess you could say. But on the staff members that were here, Carlos Valenzuela, David Stanford, Shelley Carrillo, all the work that Vanessa Garcia does inside, it starts with them. Being out in the potty, it's something else, but these guys get the courage and they build up the self-esteem to get these guys out there. A lot of times it takes a certain individual to go with these individuals. These 4 people are proud of what they do, how they do it. Like they said, the way they work with these inmates, I guess you got to see it hand in hand. It takes a certain individual. Again, this recognition is greatly appreciated. Staff, they deserve recognition of their work and they give all the effort. And without them, it couldn't be over it. So I just wanted to give them a shout of appreciation.
Well, for me also, I live in Magdalena. And, I know the mayor and lady there requested the inmates to go clean the cemetery up there also. That cemetery had been cleaned in years and it got clean. And many people in Magdalena really appreciate it. I feel that by keeping the detainees busy, one of our commissioners has always said that it keeps their mind going and their body going, and they, it's just better. It just makes it instill pride in them also. And I think it's a win-win situation for all of us. And I'll say it again. When people need help, Socorro County comes to everything that we do. So I'm proud to be a member of this county. So thank you to all. The next item is approval of minutes of June 25th, 2024, regular meeting. Commissioners, did you have a chance to review the minutes? If you had, in fact, I entertain the motion to approve them. Motion by Commissioner Aguilar,
Second that.
second by Commissioner Gonzalez. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The minutes of June 25th, 2024, regular meeting are approved. Then, this. Committee reports, acknowledged department reports, road department, Arthur, the quiet one.
Good afternoon, commissioners. Sammy. And your manager. Well, anyway, I'm cleaning all the oil, we started cleaning all the oil already. And, waiting for a little bit more moisture as we hit these roads and building them up again. Any other questions?
Commissioners? My question to you, Arthur, for the projects that are coming, is everything submitted?
Yes.
Get the clearances and stuff?
Chairman, Commissioners, we're gonna have the resolutions on the agenda this evening in order to finish up all the paperwork required, but we'll meet the deadline definitely.
And, thank you for going up to Magdalena.
Sure.
I'm going to. We can be done by the end of the year.
Yeah, we had a little bit of money last week.
Yeah.
I had a greater area, so I completed it, so I'm patching it up now. So we had to be-
You know, I got some calls from the public. They were amazed that he was on it right after the storm. And the mayor called me, so man, he was out there right away.
Yeah, I called them up here, so it's right from the bed, where so the whole canyon. Tomorrow I'll be sending them up there to clean that culvert. See if I can, bigger culvert or. Bigger something to.
Another,
The Kurto's order and one of the, you know, if I get an order on the 6 foot culverts. They don't have up there. They get cross over. See it. If they move, something. I can get that approval. The new commission, the new manager.
yeah, that's into the manager.
For each color, I think there's 503. That's about it. Everything else.
One question, meeting with the foresters.
You never got back, I keep on going and I leave her message. I'll let her know that I fired up there. I'll try again this afternoon. If she never, I even went by, she went.
And if you don't mind, copy the manager and the email,
Sure.
request the meeting so that we knows what's going on.
Yeah, I'll copy her, I think it's lost, hasn't it?
Thank you, Rick.
Thank you.
Who else would like to give a report on the comments? Eddie?
Commissioners, Chair Martinez. I guess the biggest thing that we want to talk about is we were at the Association of Counties at the meeting in June. We had a meeting there, and invited Chair Martinez to in the meeting, was with managers and retention affiliate. The discussion was come September 1st, they approved, we'll have to be 100% compliant with MATs. So it's a medical assisted treatment inside the detention center. So with that being said, other facilities in the state of New Mexico already compliant, they've been running it for about 6 months. So when it comes to Sephora, we're just trying, it's new to us, we don't have medical inside our facility. In the last couple of weeks, we've just been dissecting, kind of jump into Valencia County. We met with Presbyterian, met with the Department of Health to see what we could do to get this inside our facility. To administer Suboxone, methadone, we need a medical profession. We don't have that, we don't have staff. Administer medication, OTC, and psychotropics, all the others that whatever's prescribed to them. We don't have narcotics inside the facility, so we just kind of been brainstorming. Captain Vega, Vanessa. Because of Valencia County, they do have 100% medical. They have Roadrunner Health, and right now there's about 250 people that are in their custody, and out of the 250, there's probably about 12 of them that are on the MAT program. So they got these detainees housed separately, so they're not in the regular general population until it starts to grow. As people get out, they're going to run to the program. They're going to get on Suboxone, so they come back in. They're more or less going to need the medical, the assisted treatment. Right now, the ultimate goal is just the continuity of care. So as long as they come in, we continue that care. Now, if you're in the facility and you want to get on it, you have to wait till you're taken out or released. But if you have an active script, you're in compliance with taking your script and whatever the case is, and we'll assist on continuing that care for you. With that being said, come to the table to really sit down and we can discuss 16-hour would be like probably the mandatory medical staff. I don't think we need 24 hours. If we get it, we can, but I think we could regulate with 16 hours a day. Sick call being medication at 6 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and 1,800 again. We got individuals that take this kind of medication 3 times a day, 5 times a day. So just depending on the medical professional and what the dosage is. I know there's grants out there. I know we just had a meeting yesterday. And we're looking to just get more information on it to see what grants we can qualify for. And there's a building bridges. So we just got introduced to that yesterday. Captain Vega will apply to that before the deadline this next month, just to get our feet in the door. On top of that, yeah, we're also invited to a training that's going to be out of state. It's going to be in Chicago, and it's LaSalle, Illinois, in Chicago. And they invited us, myself and Captain Vega and Vanessa. Everything expenses paid for. They'll fly us out there. They want us to do the trainings with them for about 3 days. Just get involved and know the whole introduction of the whole program and what to do and what not to do. And once we're compliant, after 9 months, they'll be able to give us federal funding, and minimum is about 250,000. Could exceed, just continue. So we could be a mentor here in the state of New Mexico. So we spoke with Sammy yesterday. We're going to jump on that as for sure. Take advantage of the opportunity. Other than that, I know Captain Vega is going to be going to a training next week, and it's going to be a grant writing training. So we're looking for grants. We're looking for anything that's assist paying for this, and it's going to be costly. But again, at the end of the day, this is something that's mandated. It's something we kind of want. If the way it is now with the tension, getting lawsuits up and right, so just to cover ourselves and to be fully compliant. By receiving medical inside our facilities, it employs so much of my detention staff to do detention duties instead of having to do medical stuff. The drive to share and care every day, medical appointments, the dentist appointments, with being a provider like that, they had nurses, they had dental, they had mental health. They were sick call inside the facility, so there'd be less transportation for my staff, so everything will be in-house and be able to be taken care of. On top of that, if we do the 16 hours, I think we could still work closely with PMG. And we met with Veronica because we still we received the $2 million in the levy. So that would still, work out just in case they're not there, we can still take a medical appointment to get a bit of ER. So we'll still work closely with the training services. Other than that, we're still getting our feet wet. We're still trying to figure all this out. Like I said, we're going to be working closely with Sammy, and now with the new manager from tomorrow, we'll do the same. Another thing is they just passed the bill July 1st, Medicaid. So whenever the payment comes in, all medical costs, the first 30 days you can charge Medicaid. So that's going to come with strips, anything like that. They extended it to 90 days, so that's going to be cost savings for us as well. Another thing about if we do bring in medical inside the facility, accreditation for the facility, what that does is our insurance right now is, I believe, maybe about $2 million we're covered for. We get accredited, that jumps it up to $5 million. So it gives us a little something to we're paying less for the rates. The rates will go down as well. So that's always, and I think the last time Inmet came to the facility, I think that was in March. I think we're 2 or 3 points away from being accredited. I think the only thing we're lacking is full-time medical and mental health. So if we get this, that's going to knock out both and get accreditation for the as well. The accreditation comes in development for the insurance.
So September 1st is going to be mandatory for a medical professional.
It's going to be mandatory.
And you're saying you're going to try to get it 16 hours, or is mandatory 24?
I think we can work with 16 hours. 24 would be nice, just because the medications are dispensed at 6 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and 6 o'clock. So we could save some money there instead of having the 24. And anybody that comes in after a certain time, we'll still have to get the medical clearances through Presbyterian after hours. But then when we have it, if we do get the medical services, we do it with the nurse, we'll be able to do the medical clearances there at the facility. And it takes away from the sheriff's department sitting at the hospital for 2 to 3 hours, setting state police as well. So we get a lot of back fuel from that.
So if they weren't there, say at 2 in the morning, then you can take them to Presbyterian insurance tribute.
Questions?
You mentioned that in Valencia County, the Roadrunner Health Services does it for them, like a subcontractor?
Yeah, so they're in their facility 24 hours a day and they take care of everything. So a lot of times I know at our facility, if there's a fight for protocol, we take pictures and some reports and we got to dispatch EMS. EMS is like, hey, we're busy out here. What are we here for? Hey, there's a fight. We're checking on, make sure we're taking documentation. A lot of times it's like, dude, we got other things going on. This is an inconvenient, but then we're following our SOP, following policy and procedures. So it'd be kind of nice for EMS, state police, as these guys are out on the street patrolling, taking them away for 2-3 hours if you're sitting inside a hospital trying to get a clearance. And a lot of times if they refuse, we can't make them go to the hospital. They sign a waiver stating, hey, there's something wrong with me, but the next day when they wake up, they start coming off the drugs, the withdrawal. And again, we have we sit there for 3-4 hours depending on situation with the members.
That subcontractor in Los Lunas, what type of medical people do they have on staff? Do you know? Are they nurses, EMTs?
So yes, sir, they do have, I believe, a nurse practitioner. I believe they have an RN, and they also have a couple of nurses that have the medication. So with the Roadrunner services, it's kind of wraparound services. They even stated that they would assist with dental. So it's kind of like, an in-house doctor.
Right.
And there's different types of, I know Eddie stated that, you know, we wish to have 24, but 16 would be okay. So there's different types of, things that Roadrunner can offer. So like if we definitely say, okay, so maybe the commissioners would say, we can afford 16, hours a day, maybe we should to 10. So they will work with us and actually staff the medical part. So like Mr. Garcia stated, you know, we don't have our officers that should be doing CO, you know, doing that. Because not only the liability on the detention center because of natural, I mean, I think that would just help a lot of the detention center also to kind of fill that needs. Because it's scary when you're dealing with medical and not medical professionals. You know?
So you are thinking that you're probably gonna reach out to Roadrunner to see
Yeah,
the
we met,
16 hours?
yeah, we met with them in the past, but this was like in 2020 if I'm correct.
Yeah.
So the quote might be a lot different now just because of pre-COVID. And again, they met with us a couple times. I think they met with the previous manager as well. I think we're just stuck in the mud. But the plan is they're on the state purchasing agreement as well, but we can get on the phone with them, schedule this and just go from there.
Thank you.
Eddie, thank you for inviting me to that meeting, but I heard like all the other detention center, it's an issue. It's gonna be a big issue because it's a lot of money. I would hope that when you start doing this, that you keep track of the funding of the money that you're spending to be able to provide this service. Because I feel that as the year goes by, the counties are gonna ask the legislature, the government, if we need money. And the first thing they say, show me where you spent on it, or prove that you need this money. So I would take them, we have this money, this is what we spent for this money. Then, I'm thinking that they're gonna have to do that if it's a mandate, but no money, they have to help us.
One, maybe two other potential facilities in the state that don't have medical. So we're reaching out to them to see what their motion is going to be. What are they going to do? What do you guys have planned? How are you guys going to go about this? So right now, we've been in talks to even, I reached out to the detention administrator in Sunos, Randy Quideras, and said, hey, September 1st, if we're not in compliant, can you house my guys that are on the program? And it's just until we get to what we need. So we talked about it, he's going to get with his county manager and see what they can do just to make it ready, because September 1st will be here soon. We're already mid-July and it's going to sneak up on us, and I want to make sure that we know what we got to do before the time comes.
Thinking ahead, that's good, helping each other.
That's right.
The other thing, I sent you an email this morning, when you have a chance to make your email.
Okay.
That money, I got this sent from the mayor Magdalena.
Is that the graffiti? No, the trash picker.
Trash pickup.
Yes, sir.
There's a grant for 200,000 for each item. And he's talking to the manager and stuff that we need to jump on.
Do you happen to know if it says certain days and like is there criteria when it comes to how many days a month or?
I just got the email and I haven't looked into it, but it's got the contact information.
Reach out.
We need to really look into it. That's quite a bit of money. Remember I told you to set up a use of corrections contract. We need to start doing that. If we rent our people to something, especially if there's a grant, so you guys can get paid, you can pay the salary of the officer, the equipment, might even be able to get a piece of equipment. 200,000 per event. That's a lot of money.
Exactly. I know when we were in Vegas as well, they talked about, they just passed that grant to let us fund 4 positions.
Yeah.
So we hired two are on board, but I told Celine she could push them back until July 1st. That way they could cover the cost. So we got 2 of them that are on board right now. And then the other 2 that whenever they come on will be covered by that grant as well.
Good.
So take advantage of that in this position as well.
Good. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys.
Julie, you.
I'm on the,
Agenda.
Oh, sorry.
can I jump in real quick in regards to this? Administrator Garcia and I haven't had the opportunity to get together, but as the administrator of the RISE grant, as you know, The person that funds us is on the legislative committee and for the funding for the opioid remediation funding, which is part of the LC7, which I was sort of designated to as a second to Commissioner Duggins for that. So we have to get together. The RISE, the folks that fund us for the RISE program also know that the September deadline for the MAP program needs to come into the detention center. So I just have to get together with Administrator Garcia. So he knows as well that there is funding sources that are, they know what we're doing at the detention center and there will be money along with the opioid remediation grant funding that's coming through the LC7 as part of our counties that are working together that had all that funding. We put together the $500 million or however much that is. So there are lots of funding sources that are already open to us and aware that we are sort of a pilot program here in Socorro. So just to give you that update and also to update Administrator Garcia to have that meeting with Jackie Muncy and the LC7 and the opioid remediation grant folks as well.
Do you need Commissioner Duggins to be there too?
No. I mean, he certainly can, but no, that's not necessary. We've been meeting on a regular basis. Okay, so thank you.
Okay. Acknowledge July birthdays. Who wants to take care of that? Okay,
July birthdays, Chris Scarborough Maintenance, July 1st. Chad Whitten, Sheriff's Office, July 6th. Selena Lopez, Manager's Office, July 7th. Donna South, Assessor's Office, July 9th. Josefina Perez, DWI Program, July 9th. Braden Crispin, Maintenance, July 12th. Eric Spargo, Assessor's Office, July 18th. Charles Gonzalez, Clerk's Officer, July 19th. Eddie Garcia, Detention Center, July 20th. Sal de la Chava Peña, Detention Center, July 20th. Eric Silva, Road Department, July 22nd. Ricky Silva Jr., Detention Center, July 28th. Arm Lewis, Sheriff's Department, July 29th. Jerry Wheeler, Emergency Management, July 30th. Linda Naya, Foster Grandparents, July 31st. Happy birthday to all. Happy birthday.
thank you, Commissioner. Okay, acknowledge managers report. Verbal.
Chairman, Commissioners, I don't have much of a manager's report this meeting. It's our year end, so I've been spending most of our time closing our grants, making sure our books are correct, but I also have been talking with Gail Rogers, our emergency manager. She has been reaching out to Ruidoso to see where we can send the money that you all allocated to their relief. Right now, with the disaster going on, their county and their city are overwhelmed, so it's been very difficult to find someone that can accept the funds and do something with it, just because of how their manager is new, and all of his time has been dedicated to the disaster. So we're still working through the different entities and what we can do. She hasn't given up hope. We're just extending it to not just the manager, but his financial staff as well, and possibly procurement to see who we can get the funds to in order to help him. So that's still in the works. And that's about it. I've just really been focusing on finance and accepting complaints and getting everything ready for our incoming manager.
Thank you, Kim. Commissioners report. Commissioner Aguilar. Commissioner Gonzalez.
No, not at this time, because it's almost Olympic time. We've been watching those trials from some young kids. Stepped up.
I have just a few items, try to be quick. I was on Zoom with the South Central Council of Governments Board of Directors meeting. I brought the information to give to the manager right now, they don't have any money. They spent the money for 2024. But they have money for 2025. So I'll give the information and the contact information to the manager. So we can start working on this to get some money. So I'll send you. And yourself to Jay or Nico for, they have meetings and that way you can attend some of these meetings. I understand that they received 14.5 million for all the states, not all from New Mexico. So sounds like a lot, but there's a lot of states. See what we can get. In the CLL, in that committee with the WOOF program, that'll come up in a while, so I'll wait until then to discuss that in a little bit. That's it. Okay, the next item is public comment, 11. Jay, is anybody have public comment?
No.
Item 12A, discussion and direction to staff regarding Apex Solutions cameras. Listed in protecting recreation yard for Spokane operations.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Congratulations, Mr. Manager. My name is Jesse Picker with Apex Solutions. We are a master systems integrator based out of Albuquerque, New Mexico. We specialize in detention center security and life safety systems. We service 20 of the counties here in New Mexico. We've been asked by, first off, thank you for Mr. Chairman for visiting at the detention affiliate and inviting us to come down and speak. Administrator Garcia, we work with him and his team on evaluating the systems, the security and life safety systems that are in place at your detention center. And have been working with you to correct some of the outstanding issues. Most notably, the video surveillance system, getting that up and running, the head-end system, and now we're at a point to where there are other upgrades that are needed to bring some of these older systems up to current technology. The companies that installed those previously were out-of-state contractors who were no longer in business, which is why we've stepped up to fill this void in New Mexico as a local company. The video surveillance system is in need of additional cameras, which we have provided a cost proposal. We have a copy today if you don't have one. In addition to the video surveillance system, we've evaluated the intercom system, which is also not functioning correctly. These security and life safety systems create excess liability for the county with officers and inmates unable to communicate correctly when these systems aren't functioning. There was a recent issue with another county that had an undercover officer in their facility, and the inmates found out that it was an undercover officer, and he used the intercom to alert that he was in distress, and the intercom didn't work. The officer got injured badly in a fight. And this is just an example of the type of liability that these life systems bring when they don't function properly. They create a false sense of security. And so we've provided a cost proposal for the camera replacement. We also have a cost proposal to upgrade the intercom system and the door control system, that the technology that's used to allow the control center to see exactly the state of each of the doors and open and lock cells. And furthermore, there was a need expressed regarding the recreation center for the detention center. So I'm sure you're aware that you're currently using the Sally as your rec center and the detention center. And the recommendation would be to construct a new rec yard so that the Sally Port can remain an actual Sally Port, which is not designed to house inmates. The fencing is not adequate and also creates a security breach from contraband standards. And so the good news is it appears you have a space. And so a small outdoor rec yard would be recommended. There are several different designs and considerations based on budget, but it's going to be our recommendation that the county moves forward with allowing us to engage with an architect to lay out this small rec yard and get cost proposals for it. Everything that we do is provided on our statewide rest agreement. And so all the procurement red tape is already handled. But we have the ability to handle all of these projects under our New Mexico State Request Agreement, providing both recommendations on your rec yard from the types of fixtures and equipment that will be there in addition to construction, block walls, fencing, and all of the requirements that would be necessary. And so those are the current projects that we intend to present. And again, if you haven't received those proposals, we'll provide them to you. But it was our intention today to come and introduce ourselves to the commission and let you know we appreciate all the work that we've done so far. And we're very grateful that the county is taking serious the need to keep the detention center adequate from a security and life safety standpoint. It's not only the right thing for the inmates, but it's the right thing for the staff and the right thing for the county. And we have a great administrator that does a fantastic job. We've enjoyed working with them so far.
Any questions, Commissioner? I just worked with Eddie and our new manager and we'll go from there. They'll make the presentation to the commission.
Will do. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for coming too. The next one is consideration of funding request for Mayor Richard Grump from the Magdalena Senior Program in the amount of $15,000. I think you have a printout, Commissioners, that
Yes.
you sent out. Come up there and explain. Print out first and then the request.
Chairman, Commissioners, thank you for this opportunity. I also would like to thank the road department. During our rain event, I got calls, and Marty got a call, fire department got a call about debris on the road. I headed up there, a grader was already there, and it helped. So things work out sometimes. Thank you. Just finished up a year of running the senior center in Magdalena. It's been an interesting year, dealing with the state finance and stuff. The good thing is, I think the chairman's mentioned some things about it. We get really great reviews from the state agency. Right now, we're 70 seniors signed up. We are averaging 20 to 35 a day for meals and many units. We're doing 23 home deliveries every day. Yeah, so get a frozen meal on weekends. We've been trying to use grants. We received $18,000 fee out of refrigerator, freezer, a new dishwasher, ice maker. Things are coming up to the end of their life cycle and no availability of parts. So we're trying to deal with that. We applied for some small grants for miscellaneous appliances that the state money won't cover. We purchased the rice cookers and stuff. So we're looking for many grants. We're using New Mexico Grow, where we can buy New Mexico products. We have a grant for that.
we've, we're averaging about 1,000 a month in donations using the center, which is pretty awesome. A lot of support. We're expanding programs as we go. As you know, last year when we took over, we had no background on the budget. The director, Kurt Lane, and I sat down in 15 minutes, came up with the budget, which was way off the scale. Came out like 145,000. That was nowhere near close to what we spent. Coming up this year, we're getting $206,759.05 from the state program. There's one more small grant. I think $3,000 or $4,000. The village, we appreciate the money the county gave last year. The village, this is just a number we got for 12,000 from the village. As of this morning, we're $19,000 in the budget. So you guys are aware of how that goes with the 3 centers you were running. Now we have data where we can save some money. We've had, the grease trap is rusting out. It hadn't been used for years. They've been putting down the staff watches some of the grease. We have them every. There's an expense. And the company that pumps it, suggested and replace it sooner than later and larger. So there's another expense. Just happen to county to help you got the residents to come into the center. You guys are welcome to stop in anytime and enjoy a meal up there. Our commissioner is there quite often, and we get a good staff. They're working pretty hard. So just so you guys are aware of the financial issues with the state, they're having a meeting and I think things great or something. In a couple of weeks, we have a meeting with the state agencies. For more money, you may want to keep in mind when you're talking to your legislator, they told me to fund the senior program. With the amount of money surplus the state has, there's no reason they can't double what they're supplying right now. The seniors should not go home hungry from the centers. They should have the resources. So keep that in mind. So I'll have to say it's been a challenge, but a good one. I mean, the people are resilient.
On your handout, it says 24 daily and then 23 home. So that's a total of 47 daily. If you put the two numbers together.
I can't, you guys.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Your volume's not.
Yeah, she told me that before. So, you have 24 daily and then 23 home delivery. So basically 47 daily. Is that a fair number to say?
It varies.
But in that.
Yeah, the daily meals, they say we have 72 people signed up. If we have spaghetti, we have 45 people. If we have tuna fish, we have 18. Pizza's a good day. Sloppy Joes, stuff like that. So it depends on the menus. It's well attended. As I say, they're donating 1,000 a month. The folks that are eating there, it's pretty amazing. I know the state's really happy that it's at the point it is. We're still looking at ramping up things. So, that's just that I knew we were going to be over budget. I didn't think it was going to be that much. We try to watch our food costs. Those are up. One of the issues I have with AAA, they said, well, you need to use your suppliers for stuff. Well, you have four gallons of milk, and we use 1.5 gallons of milk. So we pick our milk up at Brooks and stuff like that. So we try to balance out what we're spending and not waste anything. And I do, when I'm there, I always check to see what people are not eating. And they throw away very, very little. They're considerate if there's a vegetable they don't like it. So the people using it, they're aware of on costs. I say we're hoping for a much better year. Financially. Whatever you guys like help us out with there.
You happen to know how much it cost for that first year to run ballpark figures?
What?
Total cost for the first year of operation?
Let's see, we received, I think, 140-something thousand initial budget. They supplemented to 5,000 and then over 19,000. So I think the increase they gave us and everything, hopefully no more surprises. Maintenance and stuff. They're coming in the county. You guys did upgrades in the kitchen, the lighting, heating, air conditioning. So that's so we really appreciate that part of you. So build on top of theirs. Is that only 20 some years old?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, at least more than that. So I mean, things are aging. That's why we're replacing all of them. Hopefully there's more surprises.
And this 206-759, that's what you told you're gonna get? Is that black and white or?
That's from the state. It was the contracts we just signed up here last week.
So they increased your funding from that year?
And, so it's, better than it was. Let's say now we have an idea of what we're not to be. Watch our food on it. As they hopefully we've done maintenance. Take care of, we still have some brand money there, we need to replace some windows and things, so. We try to use money for it. We did the ones that the county applied for, we did put into shelter for the vehicles, and pretty good shelters and vehicles and parking, so. Keep them on the stuff. We still got something we're going back and forth in the state, the changes go over. So we can use that for little replacements. I did get folks in doing renovating bathrooms. They're at the point where there's damage in the tile and stuff. That's the quotes I requested in the funding. That agency came back. Didn't like the way contract for submitting this quote. So that's still we're still looking for grant money. So this next year we did Laura and Eric starting to show some where the seams are. They're starting to separate and between your seamer and your soft part. So you're trying not to keep it on.
My only comment, Mayor, is I've said it before in the meetings. I compliment the village for taking it over as well as the city of Socorro. Both are doing good. In Magdalena, if anyone has a chance to go see that center, you'll see a total difference. We only had one employee that was full-time and one part-time. There's no way that you can run an operation, do all the paperwork, do all the cleaning, do all the cooking with one and a half.
We have a site manager, assistant manager, share cooking. We have a part-time person now in school. Has a young lady that comes in, I think, 4 hours a day into a school program. Our second person, she spends 3-4 hours every day. Some people. So it's a burden plus one assistant work and finances. Typically spends an hour a day, 2 hours a day, just anything under the stuff. It's a lot to keep running.
Well, you've done a lot, it looks different, and see this. Past employees that work for our county, It had to get out because we closed it down. We commend them for the years that they did it. They sacrificed. They worked hard to keep it open. And they worked hard to keep it open for the seniors because they care so much for the seniors. So I commend them for doing it. And thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
If you notice in the request, he's asking for $15,000. Commissioners, what are your wishes?
I think, budgetary, we've supported the seniors in the past, so, and I don't know the amount. So I'll make a motion to support it to be budgeted previously.
How much did we?
I believe last year we supported them to the tune of 10,200. And then I believe in this fiscal year budget cycle, it was budgeted at 12,000. That is entirely up to the commission, sir. You can certainly afford the 15,000. It would only require a bar.
Is that we have to say for the city?
The city, Chairman, Commissioners, the city's requested 18,000, so we budgeted 18,000 for the city and 12,000 for Magdalena, but the final budget hasn't been submitted yet, so it can't.
Your wishes.
Well,
My wishes.
yeah, I know you do. Just like me, more money. We can always make, adjustments to the budget in fiscal year.
We can't, it would only be a $3,000 adjustment
Yeah.
since you already budgeted.
Well, it seems like the village of Magdalena did better of getting increased funding from the state. We never were able to, because as you stated, they got 165. Last year, now I got 206, and their operating is 200. Basically, that's what a car operated last year was 200. And then they had 12,000 from the village. And of course, you mentioned all the other things, bathrooms need to be repaired and that type of thing. I know that through the senior programs, there's capital outlay money for those type of projects. So I'm still in support of what we budgeted, and they apply for capital improvements for like the bathrooms, like you mentioned, and so forth. And they fall short in getting those monies, and it just made them more. And based on, not that one's more important than the other, but 18,000 for probably more seniors in the city versus 12,000 county. That's just how I'm looking at it. Not that one is more important than the other. I spend the money deeply.
So your recommendation is how much, Commissioner?
The 12,000 budget.
There's a motion by Commissioner Gonzalez for 12,000. Will you give a second?
I do agree with you, Commissioner Gonzalez. Being 18,000 for, like, say here, or like 12,000. Crack in that. That's fair be that they did get, like you say, it was a little under 200,000 their cost last year, and they're getting 206, correct? Yeah, so,
Okay, second by Commissioner Aguilar. Any further discussion?
12.
My discussion is, you heard from Commissioner Gonzalez that they need the extra 3,000. There's a chance they can get it.
Absolutely.
So, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, 12,000 is approved. If you need more afterwards, if you can prove it, then you need to go up to 3,000.
thank you.
Thank you. Item C. Staff EWI fiscal year 2024 year-end update report.
Good evening. I'm really happy about that this time around. So it's good afternoon, Chair, Commissioners, and our new County Manager and Sammy. So yes, just really quick to the Magdalena Senior Center. My mother has started attending that, so she has nothing but excellent reports on the quality of the food, and the staff is really terrific, and just a little bit of a social outing, friends come to pick her up, and so I think it's vital on multiple fronts, not just the feeding, but also the social activities. Thanks to everybody for making sure that the senior center stays viable for all of our folks, including me. I think I'm at age that I can go back there now. So we have wrapped up, Stephanie wrapped up our DFA on Thursday, and just some odds and ends this coming week for our DFA end of year. You have the information in front of you. Sammy and I have wrapped up the RISE funding year end. Tamara Espinoza is our RISE grant manager, and she's the one that I think involved with the legislation, and you know, everything that has to do with medicated assisted treatment, and she knows the wonderful work that Administrator Garcia and the whole staff at the detention center is doing. So we definitely have gold stars because of all that work. This year, our main focus is prevention and the medicated assisted treatment for the detention center. Prevention is really through our DFA, which is the DWI and underage drinking. So Scope is our main partner with that. So we're really happy with the work that we're doing with Scope and our collaboration with them. They're actually doing something July, I didn't bring the flyer, July 24th from 11 to 1 at Tech on underage drinking, and we're really happy about that. You have the numbers in front of you. Vanessa has been doing a great job. I've asked her to do percentage collection for us and data that has to do with how many people have alcohol abuse, how many people have fentanyl abuse, how many people are there for possession charges, domestic violence charges. And that really helps not only with our grants, but also just helps for us to know the demographic and how best we can help the detainees along with our community members as well. So if there are any questions, that's really all I have. And just to say, I'm really happy. Sammy, thank you so much for everything you've done. And of course, the detention center. So if there are any questions, I'm going to answer.
Which Commissioner Andy? I go.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much, as always, for your continued support.
We don't need a motion, but it's just report. Yeah. Item D, certification of county assessors, 2024 property evaluations.
To present to you guys the for PTPs or certification of values, which you guys should have a copy of. This year we're going to certify it'll be like 360,482,000 to that's our certification for our taxable value. 280 million is real property. The other 80 million is going to be state assessed, which is done through state assessed. So that's 360. What I wanted to say was that in the past, when we are finished with our reappraisal that we started back in 2013. And in 2013, our taxable value was 240 million. And now we are at 360 million. That's how much value we picked up. I can't even tell you how many houses we picked up that had never been on the rolls, that had been out there for 20, 30 years, that they've never paid taxes on. But that's what we've been doing for the last 10 years because of all the issues we've had with computers and all of that stuff. But I just wanted to let you guys know that that's finished. We will be starting up on our reappraisals now again, because it has to be done every 2 to 4 years. It won't be we won't I don't predict they're gonna gain as much value this time because we've already picked them up. So now we're gonna just be picking up stuff that's newly added, that, maybe they put on that we didn't see it or something we didn't catch. And be cleaning up a lot of the stuff on that. Okay, and so that's for the certification. I also have to present to you guys our report, which is our annual report for what we did in 2024. And I think you guys have that. It tells you everything we did, what we picked up, we broke it down. How many permits we picked up, how many affidavits we looked at, how many commercial properties we visited. We're gonna try to finish all the commercial properties this coming year. We've probably gone about maybe a third of them. A lot of them hadn't been reassessed since like the 1997. That's the last time we were reassessed. The value was unreal for some of these commercial buildings at 30,000. So we picked up a lot of that. We're gonna continue to try to finish all the commercial within the city limits and then move out to Magdalena, and there's a couple in San Antonio, maybe a couple in Bogota, to get all that on the tax rolls. Getting them on. Another thing I wanted to bring up too, and I brought up in the past is on the election, there's gonna be 2 amendments for the veterans. One of them is gonna be the veterans, for everybody to vote on, for the veterans to increase their veterans exemption from 4,000 to 10,000. So that's gonna probably be about, I'm gonna say about $6 million in taxable value that we're gonna lose in this county. So you guys are prepared for that, and that's gonna take place now in 2025, because they're pretty sure it's gonna pass. I'm pretty sure it's gonna pass too. So that's gonna be, we're gonna be short, we're gonna lose that money. Then they're also on the bill is for a different amendment, is going to be, where right now, if you're 100% disabled, you get 100% off your property. But now they're gonna go into increments, like 10%, 20%, 30%, 40% discounts on your property, all the way up to, till you reach the 100%. So if you're 90%, you're gonna get 90% off your bill. If you're 10%, you're gonna get another 10% plus the $10,000. So just so you guys are aware of that, it's gonna take place now in 25. So I don't know, I can't give you any kind of estimate on that, because I know there's a lot of veterans out there that are a percentage disabled. And so they're gonna be getting all of that. Just so you guys kind of keep in the back of your head, you're gonna lose like, at least 6 million taxable value.
Questions, Commissioner?
So, we started at 360, now we're down at 354. So with, commercial property values, and my understanding is based on the building and the activity of the.
Just the buildings.
Just the buildings, so this has nothing to do with activity, so like some vacant buildings, it's not gonna affect it.
It should, well, we'll give them depreciation. If they're vacant, they're gonna get depreciation.
Right.
If they're not being used.
So there's a slight decrease in the.
Right, yeah. They'll get their depreciation. Most of the big chain stores that we have, we've already picked up all of those. We picked up the stuff around the plaza. We need everything probably from like, John Brooks going south. We need to pick up those, and there's not that much value in those buildings, anything like down that way. There won't be that much value, but we gotta get all that. And what's on the outskirts of this, California Street, going to the residential areas, we anything that's commercial out there, we get it. And it's sad because commercial haven't really been, they've been with the same value, but we call an override, where back in the old system that we had, they put a value on it, however they came up with it. Let's say it was 50,000. So that stayed in the system as an override. And now that we got that new system, we have to remove those, to go in and let them start moving up. Well, in 1997, a building was at 50,000, and they're still paying on 50,000 in 2023. So that's what we're working on those right now. So I don't predict too much more value in residential stuff, but hopefully we'll get a little bit in commercial. And if state assessed if we start with state assessed, that's 80 million. But if we don't get businesses like road construction and stuff like that in there, that state assessed picks up, if we lose any cable company, That's that's not guaranteed. The 80 million that state assessed does is not guaranteed. The 200 and or 300,000 that's real property, that's guaranteed. But the 80 million is not guaranteed either. That depends on how much the state picks up.
Questions, Commissioner? Thank you. I have 3 questions.
Okay.
First question. How did the remodeling come out?
I was gonna tell you guys, thank you guys for the money. It came out really good. We've had a lot of compliments from a lot of customers, private offices. It looks more like an office, not like a warehouse.
I kind of peeked in, but I haven't gone in.
Going in there. We're still missing the doorknob. The guy came back and had to, I don't know, long story, but anyway, they had to repair something that they did that wasn't right. Now we're just gonna try, Craven's supposed to get us a quote on painting that floor. Because when they put the tile, not just the piece that now, but when they tiled it back when, the glue from the tile came up and standing on it or sitting on the chairs and stuff, all that glue, I mean, it looks pretty bad. It looks pretty disgusting. So he's gonna try to get someone in to go and give it a good clean, because we were on our hands and knees for a couple of days trying to take that stuff off, and we got some off, but there's gotta be some kind of solution out there that we.
Second question. For veterans, I'm glad that they're doing this. But how, is there gonna be any verification? It's probably some of our veterans that died, do their spouse still qualify?
Yes, they do. So what they do when they pass away and they come into our office and present our death certificates, or we go into the person who renews up. What we do is we tell them, you know what, here's the application, have it, fill it out, send it to the DFA, and not DFA, to the Veterans Administration, and they'll send you a certificate in your name. And then we just change it to their name.
But like now, anybody that has that automatically will get it.
Yeah. And automatically.
With no verification.
No, they said they don't, because because we keep a copy of their certificate. So that's verification for us that because once they're a veteran, they're always a veteran. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't come off. So once we get their certificate, they're a veteran. They can't come in there and say, I'm a veteran. They gotta bring us a certificate, which in this case is the green certificate in order for us to put it on the tax bills.
And the percentage? Yeah.
Percentages is gonna be done by them. Also, I think what's supposedly gonna happen, we're meeting with them every time we have meetings, we're having to meet with the Veterans Administration. They're getting a new system. And with that system, what they're gonna want us to do, which I don't understand why we always have to do everything. They're gonna want us to go in there. If that veteran comes into the office and says that they're a veteran, they're 10% disabled, we go into that system, we look their name up, and we verify it, and then we're gonna have to print those out. I mean, it wouldn't be no problem, but if they come in January and say they're 10%, and by June they're 50%, we gotta change that. Do corrections to the tax rules and make all those changes. We gotta print those certificates out. They're even saying that they'll give us the right color paper for it, so. But to us, like our county, we might not be too bad off as far as how to do this, but a lot of the counties are gonna have to hire extra people just to handle the veterans exemptions. Hopefully, we don't have to. I don't know how many veterans there are out there that are percentage disabled. But I guess we're about to find out. But just so you guys are aware that, next couple of years, you guys are gonna. Yeah, they do. I wish they would have done it through the income tax though. I think every veteran should be eligible for it, not just those that have a home. I think every veteran should be able to get that exemption, but done through the income tax where the state can afford to give that money out. The counties, we're not the only rural county. There's a lot of more rural. I think Santa Fe is going to lose something like 83 million in taxable value. But you know what? I think the state could afford that. They've got the lotteries. They've got the drug thing now. That's money that they could have given to the veterans. However they do income tax. I don't know. But that's my opinion. everybody here.
Thank you, Julie.
Is that it?
That's it.
Thanks.
The item E, approval of legislative appropriation 2413-15, detention center recreation yard of $3,000.
Chairman Commissioners, sorry, there's a typo on that, so it's gonna be for $300,000.
300,000?
Well,
Yes,
that's a good typo.
Okay, so it's appropriation 24I 3151 for $300,000 for, to plan, design, construct, purchase, and install structures for a recreational yard at the county detention center in Socorro County. And this is an FY24 appropriation that will be available to the detention center in FY25, pending your signature. Yes. Sorry. So that, do you want me to just repeat the scope of work? Okay, so that's appropriation 24I 3151 for $300,000. And that is to plan, design, construct, purchase, and install structures for a recreational yard at the county detention center.
So. Okay, motion by Commissioner Gonzalez.
No, and that was for 300.
300. It's gonna be a cane lady, not a ball wire. On the electric fence.
Second by Commissioner Aguilar. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, legislative appropriation 24I 315 detention center recreation yard is approved for $300,000. A physical year 2027. Item F. Approval of legislative appropriation 24I 3152 Escondida Lake for the amount of $725,000.
Chairman, Commissioners, so this is legislative appropriation 24I 3152 for $725,000. And that is to plan, design, and construct improvements to Escondida Lake Park in Socorro County.
Motion by Commissioner Gonzalez,
This is one we've been discussing. Sorry.
second by Commissioner Aguilar. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Appropriation 24I 3152. This will be a Lake Park for $725,000 is approved. Next item is approval of legislative appropriation 24I 3156. Courthouse improvements for $250,000.
Chairman, Commissioners, so this is legislative appropriation 24I 3156 for $250,000, and this is to plan, design, install, furnish, and equip energy efficiency improvements, including windows and doors to the county courthouse in Socorro County.
So. Second. Motion by Commissioner Aguilar, second by Commissioner Gonzalez. Any further discussion?
This, so does this take away from part of our? I know we didn't have enough for the windows from the first round, so we're gonna put some more, so we can use some of this, and so we're gonna pay out of our cash.
Chairman, Commissioners, so this appropriation should finish your courthouse to where there's no excess cost coming out of the county's coffers.
Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Legislative appropriation 24I 3156 courthouse improvements for $250,000 is approved. Next item is discussion of 2026-2030 infrastructure and capital improvement plan ICIP.
Chairman, Commissioners, this is purely for informational purposes for yourselves as well as the incoming manager, so that the ICIP is on your next agenda. This is just a capture of the programs and the projects, not the programs, that you prioritized in the 26 to 2030 year, which is where we were just awarded those 3 agreements you approved. This is just a breakdown of that for you to review prior to your next meeting in order to prioritize your projects and develop your next ICIP.
Thank you.
I would just recommend that information is shared with Commissioner Duggins and Commissioner Secretary.
Yes, sir.
So they'll be prepared for the next meeting.
Yes, sir. It's in their packet and I'll provide it to you all independently as well.
My discussion and direction to staff. Mexico GSV benefit premium increase.
Bear with me just a minute while I open the proper program. So Chairman, Commissioners, what you have before you in your packet is going to be the notice that GSD sent us on June 21st with a 10% increase to the benefit premiums. So with that 10% increase, I went through and checked your current rates. So this is what we're currently, as an employer, we're paying 86% of our benefits and our employees are paying 13.8% of our benefits. So with that, I just allocated, the cost of your increase is going to be about $107,734,000. With that, at your current rates, you're going to be absorbing 92,725 of that, and the remainder will be left with the employee, unless the commission would like to pick up the entirety of the 107, which is why I broke it up that way. But at your current rates, the 92,725 is what the increase would be as an employer.
So what would be the percentage of employee to employee if we picked it up?
Sorry. So right now, these are our percentages, 86 and 13. I'd have to. 15,000. Yeah, I think it would just bring us up to the 96. And we'd be absorbing this full cost of 107,730.
How many employees do we have?
100, at least 130.
What are wishes?
I tried to do most of it.
No, you did.
So this is the cost we will absorb, the 92,725 as your percentages are set today. If you want to retain them, that's how they are today, and that's how they carry over the questions if you would want to add.
10% basically up to 100%.
Commissioner, I think your question is, what would the percentage be instead of the current split?
86.
Split?
Yeah.
And I think it's true quick, if I can do the number in my head, it would be
15,000.
whatever.
Speak into the microphone.
So Commissioner, it's gonna be right.
88. Well,
Yeah, it'd be an additional 1.1 to 1.2% increase.
yeah.
So
Someone other mentioned.
We can't hear you guys at all, what you're discussing.
Okay.
I wanna say it'd be then an 88-12 split.
And we increase the funds. So that being said, I make a motion that we, take it all up. Yeah, that we absorb 10%.
107,000.
Yes.
Motion by Commissioner Gonzalez to get, pull them up, 7,700. Whatever they.
Yeah, and right now it's at 92.
Yeah, so we're gonna be paying 107, but see what we're paying 86% of the premium and the employees are paying 13%. Oh, Betty, you in the microphone. So then it's gonna be, we're paying 88% and they're paying 12. In other words, our increase is going up by 1%. Exactly like I'm karaoke. Sorry, Betty.
I will second that.
Second by Commissioner Gonzalez. Any further discussion?
That just be making up for us having a 3 o'clock meeting instead of 10. So the employees not.
Sure, they'll appreciate you.
Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It is approved at the full 10% increase of 175. Okay, the next one is discussion and direction to staff of New Mexico PRA increase.
Chairman, Commissioners, what you have before you is the rate sheet that PER sent back in FY 22 when they began their 5% increase per fiscal year. So all I'm doing is breaking that down for you so you can visualize your rates into this fiscal year as well as the upcoming one. These are set per resolution, so they're not changing. This is purely for informational purposes.
Thank you.
No, yeah.
Yeah, I forgot that.
Okay, item A, consideration of resolution 2024-41, fiscal year 25, LGRA project control number 1002590.
Chairman, Commissioners, what you have before you is resolution 2024-41 for the 24-25 NMDOT cooperative project, the SP, and the total project cost is $246,408 from DOT, $82,136 from Socorro County, totaling a project of $328,544.
This is for the roads, Locustville Road, Carlos Martinez Road, Up Canyon Road, and Good Lane Road, correct?
Yes, sir.
With the motion to approve the resolution, Commissioner so wish. So, motion by Commissioner Gonzalez.
I'll second that.
Second by Commissioner Abdullah. Any further discussion?
This is just the county part of Locust Road.
Yes.
That's just the partner.
Yeah.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. 24-41, fiscal year 25, LGRA project control number 12590 is approved for $328,544. The next item is resolution 2024-42, fiscal year 25, LGRA project control number 160.
Chairman, Commissioners, Resolution 2024-42 is the 2024-25 NMDOT LGRF school bus route funding. The department share from NMDOT this for FY 25 is $148,813. Socorro County share is $49,604 with a total project cost of $198,417. And that is for Camino Sabinal, Ramon Lopez Road, No Name Road. And that's it.
Second. Motion by Commissioner Black, second by Commissioner Gonzalez. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution 2024-42, fiscal year 25, LGRF project control number 116, 198,417 is approved. Next one is consider resolution 2024-43, fiscal year 25, LGRF project control number 116.
Chairman, Commissioners, resolution number 2024-43 is for the 24-25 NMDOT LGR arterial projects or the CAP projects. DOT share is $280,005. County share is $93,335,000. The total project cost is $373,340. And that is for Drake, Troy, Albany, Las Nutrias, and Calle Iglesias.
So. Second. Second, Commissioner Aguilar. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? It is approved. Resolution 2024-43, fiscal year 25, LGRF project control number L10615 for $373,040 is approved. Item N was already approved earlier. Item O, consideration of amendment to the joint power agreement with Catron and Sierra County establishing the County Livestock Authority.
Certainly. Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, just for a bit of recap, the counties of Catron, Sierra, and Socorro came together in 2022 and entered into a joint powers agreement which established the County Livestock Loss Authority. Generally, the purpose of the County Livestock Loss Authority is to address livestock depredations from the U.S.-Mexican wolf program, which basically is considered a taking in that these producers are losing lots of livestock, and there's really not a way to compensate them for it. These three counties came together to create a system that would allow that to happen and had worked on funding it. And for instance, each county last year gave $100,000 to help with the funding program. But the County Livestock Loss Authority is in and of itself a separate legal governmental entity. It is not part of the three counties, but is instead created by the three counties. The County Livestock Loss Authority, which our representative is Chairman Martinez, and he can talk a lot more about it than I can, certainly. But basically, so it's a separate entity. The County Livestock Loss Authority has also gone out and obtained funding through the state of New Mexico to the tune of, how much is it, Mr. Chairman?
1.2 million.
1.2 million to supplement its program to compensate. It's also going out for federal and other funds. The Livestock Loss Authority is not just, certainly it helps producers, but it's also supported by the environmental groups, because in the end, they're basically saying, it takes away a lot of the argument that, well, you need to remove the wolves because they're eating the livestock because, well, you're being compensated for it. Now that's a different fight for a different day, but it is supported by the environmental groups as well as the producers. What you have before you is the County Livestock Loss Authority. The fiscal agent has been the County of Sierra, and that means that all of the claims, all of the processing, all of the administration goes through the County of Sierra, and they've taken on that burden to do so. The Livestock Loss Authority has requested that fiscal agency be transferred to the County of Catron for several reasons, one of which is that the vast majority of the claims happen in the County of Catron, and that they're also intending on hiring a claims administrator, basically, or an administrator, And they believe that that person would be better located in Catron County rather than any other county, just because the vast majority of the claims do happen there. By the way, the second number of claims are out of Socorro County, third is Sierra, and it goes on down the line. You don't have to be from one of the three counties to file for claims, but there's a very long, complicated process to have the claims paid out. You have to have, and certainly you have to have investigations to prove the claims through either a local livestock investigator or the federal U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. So that is what's been presented before you today. There is one additional change that Mr. Chairman and I have spoken about today, and I think that certainly we've come to the conclusion that really the way it's set up now is that there are 5 voting members, and each voting member is one from each county, and then those counties can appoint 2 more members, which are someone from the livestock industry, a rancher or a farmer, or someone a producer, and someone from a non-governmental or a governmental organization, such as the Forest Service or Greenpeace or cattle growers, any one of those types of organizations who would be a voting member. Basically, there's been talk since this has been approved, or since this has been going on, is that certainly since the counties are funding it and doing all the administration, and also it's a new legal entity and there are concerns with dealing with the Government Conduct Act and the types of controls that brings in, I think the recommendation that of locally would be to also make a change to the JPA that only the 3 counties get a vote, that we shouldn't have a vote from another random organization, that those people should be able to sit on an advisory capacity. But since the counties pay the bills, and since the counties are the ones that are going to be, the livestock authority is going to be sued, which could come back on the county, then those are really, that should be where the voting should be. And I think that's the recommendation. So those are the 2 choices before you, is either to do just as presented, which is to only have the fiscal agency change. The second is to have the joint powers agreement amended, where it would have the voting members as only the 3 as appointed by the counties who created the group. Probably the second would be more appropriate.
So it's either, is it presented to us having the 5?
It's presented having the 5, and we can amend it. The discussion of the amendment is to also have the change of fiscal agent agreement. I think that's to give it to Catron, but then to reduce the number to 3, and then the others sit in advisory capacity. Of course, this does have to be approved by the 2 other counties. So let's say they change it or we change it. It's just like the legislature. If it goes to the House and they don't approve it, what the Senate did, well, it's got to go back to the Senate. But I think that would be my recommendation, is to approve as discussed.
They vote on policy, but as far as paying out, that's still voted on based on the investigation and all this stuff.
So basically the hope is, and I believe what's happened, and I would like the chairman to speak more to this, is they are basically a policymaking board. So they do set up the formulas for getting paid out, whether that be, and based on how much money there is too. I mean, if there's hardly any money, well then, you may get $20, and if there's a lot of money, you might get the full value of the cow, which is, or the cattle, which is determined. They've set the determination for that to be by New Mexico State University, by their ag program. What is the value of a cow or a bull today? And so they set the formulas, they set the amount that comes out, how it's applied for. And really that should be off and running theoretically to the administration. So basically they shouldn't be necessarily approving an individual claim, but they should be, the administration will go through that. And ultimately, like you approve a budget or you approve individual payouts, you'll process out, but they will process those claims.
Commissioners, I feel we need to go with second recommendation that are attorney. And we're having a meeting the 29th of July, CLL on Zoom. this is gonna be a hot topic. If we pass the resolution now, the second recommendation, it's gonna go up to Sierra. And then they're gonna review it, we're probably gonna review it on the 29th. Like he said, maybe they'll agree, maybe they won't, or reserve might not either. But either way, I think we need to go the other route, because the code of government conduct is here. We're dealing with money that we gotta be very careful, and I told Adrian, I will not be part of a committee if it's not being done right. I'm part of it. I will turn out in December. Like I told you guys, this is a very important committee. This compensates local partners and managers for book kids. I hope that if it goes good, someone from our county, a voting member, will. All the documents, I have everything. The way it's being compensated, we've gone through a lot of work. So we need to continue it because these people that really need it, they're not getting compensated in a timely manner.
So right now it's taking a long time to be compensated.
No, if they send in and all the investigation is done right, have a spreadsheet of everybody that's gotten compensated. If, in other words, if I'm on this committee and I'm a rancher and I submit a bill and I vote to get paid, that's not right. You know, sort of conduct government, yeah.
Yeah, you can't just.
You're the one that determines. It's a conflict.
And I assume who keeps the data on all this?
So actually, Catron County keeps most of the data as far as how many depredation skills, and also the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. So it's a pretty extensive and well-kept database, and each investigation is thorough. I mean, it's about like a murder investigation for each one.
It seems to love to CSI.
CSI.
So,
Cow SI.
yeah, so does this just speak to the book or any kill?
This only speaks to any kill that was done by an animal that you are not allowed to take care of yourself. So the ranchers can't do anything about the wolves. I mean, if it were a coyote, then yeah, you don't get compensated for a coyote. The coyotes aren't put here by the federal government. The wolves were. So that's kind of yep.
I'll make the motion that we accept second recommendation from the attorney and send it to the other two counties for their review to see if they agree with it.
And I'll second that.
Motion by myself, second by Commissioner Gonzalez. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
It will be presented to Catron. Your version will be presented to Catron tomorrow.
Yeah.
If they approve, then it has to go to Sierra. If Sierra approves, it has to be approved by the Department of Finance Administration
Right.
to become legal.
Right.
Of course, the 2002 one is because it's a legal entity, but we'll see where these changes go.
I did have a comment. So where did the other two people come from?
The other two people are approved. They're approved by the three counties by recommendations. So we currently have two individuals that were recommended by Catron County and they were approved.
Instead, we agreed to have the three people, but there was a push for two additional that were outside of the realm.
Well, currently there are two additional. Now there will only be three if yours is.
Where was the push from?
I think that basically the push was that for those two to be on there. There were recommendations when we were creating this board that it would be good to have additional voices out from outside the county. And we still agree with that, but we think that it would be more appropriate in an advisory capacity than a voting capacity. since we're dealing with public funds and they are not public officials, whereas you all are public officials and deal with those rules.
Now it's clear. Thank you.
Favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, we will go with the recommendation of attorney, so you can send it to. Okay. Item 13, financial action item, approval of vendor checks and approval of payroll checks. We've always done both. Do I hear, recommendations to take this on? John? So,
I don't have anything.
I was wondering what that was. Is she home?
So it was a big test so that I can call this. Somebody will call back and say,
It's a motion to approve payroll checks and checks and.
Yeah, amount to 500.
Oh.
60%. I'll second that.
okay, motion by Commissioner Aguilar to approve both of them. Second by Commissioner Gonzalez. To break it down, I think, the payroll is 204,879.04. Vendor, 347,986.3. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Both vendors and payroll checks are approved. Okay, item 14, executive session. We need a motion to roll call to go into executive session pursuant to New Mexico State Statute section 10-15-1. Only the following matters will be discussed in closed session. 6, A, personnel, I, county manager, and the butler.
Yeah, we can take a minute, second. We'll leave them out here.
Second, that's
What's that? We'll leave it out here.
Mr. Gonzalez
Yes.
and Chair Martinez.
yes, ma'am. We are now in executive session.
You have to go now or what?